I'm very
Whoa.
multicultural. I know I'm very multicultural today. The reason why I'm wearing the Belgian shirt is because Eden Hazard was today inaugurated into the Premier League Hall of Fame.
And rightly so. His time at Chelsea was
Quite spectacular.
unbelievable.
He was rather good.
The,
But we're
the
not here to
KDB
talk
of his
about.
day.
So I just wanted to give him a little nod this evening, just a little tick box exercise because somebody else looks like they're going to win the league this year. It's Arsenal.
Well, slow
We're going
down,
to
John.
actually be
Slow down.
nice. I know. I'm
We've,
just going to
we've
give
got to
the
say
running.
hi to the
I'm
people.
giving
Hello,
running order
people.
stuff. My God.
But some of them are only listening and they'll be like, what is this? This is the StatrCast cast.
Yes.
We are here once again, with our weekly look at things fantasy and generally football.
Or the
Um,
StatrCast, if you will.
the cast of Statter, that's us. The season 2 cast. Not those early guys. The early guys are all missing. It's just myself and John now. The rest have all started off on us. So here we are. I'm Jimmy. That's John over there. And it's lovely to have you with us this evening. If that's where you are, thank you for choosing to be here. And if you're with us at a later evening, well done. Enjoy your dump.
Were you preparing that, were you?
Well, I think we all know where 90% of the great fantasy football moves get made. So it's logical that's where you should be listening.
It is on the bog. When you're doing your
It's on the bog.
when you're doing your transfers, you're doing your drafting, you're doing your picking your bench. Your bench is number 2 time. Picking your number 2 keeper is time for number 2. And we will talk about a team who is a big pile of number 2 this evening because we have 3, I think.
We will.
see,
Because we haven't. To be
that's how
fair,
you
now,
do
in
a
our
segue.
defense, before we get in trouble for this, and I know we're going to get in trouble for that segment, I just want to get it out there nice and early that I think it's good that we devote more time to some of the lower profile teams, shall we say? Some teams we haven't talked about enough this year. But here's one we have and will continue to do. And as you said, John, they're at the top not only of the menu here this evening, but of the Premier League.
Mm.
It's okay.
It's not.
I know it hurts him so much. I'm relatively neutral on Mikel Arteta. I know there's a lot of ire for him around these parts. I think he's an okay guy. I don't want to hit him with a truck the way you do. And I say this as I watch his team advance on Brighton in the EFL Cup on screen number 3 here in front of me. It's teeny tiny, but it's doing the job. But I don't mind Arsenal. John, how do you feel about Mikel Arteta?
Oh, it just lob that grenade and go straight in. Do you know what? I was actually so I was on the One Way Football show there about 2 weeks ago, and their host is obviously a big Arsenal fan, so I was there in the aftermath of the Fulham Arsenal game,
Good show,
and
that.
I kind of made a point when I was there. I was like, I like their players, I dislike their manager, and their most likely reason to win nothing is Arteta. And I wrote an article there that's now available on statterdraft.com where I look at all the managers according to where they get sacked or like if they have potential to get sacked. And under Arteta, I said Arteta's biggest enemy right now is Mikel Arteta. Like they're running away with the league right now in the sense of what are we, 9 weeks in, 3 goals conceded.
And
You're
5
looking
points clear after 9 weeks is
now
nuts.
5 points clear at this time is like, let's come back in week 19, like when we have a good framing after the first round of fixtures for everybody. But Liverpool aren't what they have been in the years gone by. It's probably the weakest City team we've seen in years gone by. And Chelsea, they look rather raw at times because their squad is extraordinarily young. So if you add all these things together, you kind of go, right, Arsenal, this has to be their year. Arteta, 6 years in the job. They spent a bill on the squad. They've the leanest defense in the league. They've splurged money on Gyökeres, Eze, Zubimendi this summer. They've spent like player for player. They have the deepest squad in the Premier League right now. So
They do. It's the
the only way
Guardiola
they
thing.
lose this is because Mikel Arteta is risk averse. Mikel Arteta overthinks things. It's like when Pep was in the Champions League with Barcelona and Bayern Munich. He tried to be too clever for his own good and it would be like, oh, right, today we're going to play Oscar Bob as a left wing back in a Champions League quarter final. And then you wonder why that's exactly where the opposition targeted and it went to shit. He did these kind of things in the Champions League. And I think Arteta being risk averse, I think Arteta being this is first job of management, like as well, you have to remember. And he just is a bit smug for a man who's in his first managerial job. Like he got the job because he's Pep's boy. Like
Sure. Sure, but I think that the thing, looking at from the outside of football, what it feels like is Liverpool in January last year, in terms of table movement.
Mm,
Like there's a lot of kind of, oh, now you're second, oh, now you're third, oh, now you're second, oh, yeah, yeah, Arsenal are still first.
yes.
But I did a thing, John.
Okay. I like when you do things.
I had a little look at the story so far, just a little
Yes.
one, just a little peeky peek.
Okay. That's fine.
Um, there's one loss all season
Yes.
in all competitions,
Yes.
and it's a 1-0,
Yes.
missing Saka and Rice. Okay,
Yes.
3 goals conceded in 9 games. Right, that's not just the lowest in the Premier League. That's the lowest in the Big Five.
Hmm.
Them and Roma. Sorry, Roma are 3 as well. Um, they've let in 1 goal each to City, Liverpool, and Newcastle, and they got 4 points from those 3 games. Right,
Yeah.
that's the good. The defense is just statistically unbelievable, right?
Yes.
But there's a big asterisk on that. I'll come back to the big asterisk because you're going to say goalie. Everybody's thinking goalie, and no, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
But you remember a while ago, I got called out for making a little mistake,
Yes.
right? And it was that Arsenal can't do it against the big teams. And it was rightly pointed out that they've been doing it against the big teams for the last 5 years better than blah, 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 fam, blah, blah, blood, blah,
Sure.
blah, blah, right? So they've lost 1 game and drawn one, and that was Liverpool and City. And apart from that, they've been mostly playing softer teams.
Sure.
So when they've come up against the big teams, that's when you've seen them look penetrable, for want of a better term. So,
But they've
there
barely
is still
given up
that
a
flaw
shot
still
in the last.
there.
They've barely given up even a shot in the last 3 games.
Look at you saying exactly what I wanted you to say. This is why we are not taking David Raya. David Raya has the lowest number, or sorry, Arsenal as a whole have the lowest number of saves this season of any team in the Premier League.
Yes.
Because this isn't a siege man. This is an absolutely immaculate defense.
Yes.
Like if you can draft 2 Arsenal defenders, you've won your league. If you can draft 3, they're just, and you could pick 4, maybe 5
Well,
in
they're
the
on
list.
track right now. They're right. They're on track right now. If they continue this kind of stingy defense, I don't think they will. But they're on track right now to do what Mourinho's Chelsea did back in '04.
The context there.
Lowest ever amount of goals conceded in a single season. I think it was 12 or 15.
Wow.
Yeah,
Although, yeah, that would.
that Mourinho team did not give up chances. That was Ricardo Carvalho, Paulo Ferreira, John Terry, and who was the other one? Gallas. I think it was Gallas. But anyway, they gave up next to nout at the back, like, and Petr Cech was the man in the sticks. And right now, Arsenal are kind of they're as stingy as that team in terms of what they're giving up. But
Yeah,
it makes sense of
7
how they
wins
play.
from
This is
9.
part of the like. It makes sense of how they play as well. Like I saw some numbers there where like Brentford took 9 minutes in total across the Liverpool game in terms of taking throw-ins in corners,
Yeah,
and Arsenal play very much this. Like this year in the Premier League is an outlier. We've gone through this like ad nauseum in terms of the increase in set plays, the increase in more direct balls, the increase in long throws, and Arsenal played this kind of style of football. And look, it is what it is. Like everybody has their own opinions on what is a nice style of football. This, that, and the other. They've learned to win ugly, and the thing
yeah,
is, they're winning ugly every game. Like they're not
yeah. Every game, every
Arsene Wenger's
competition,
Arsenal of
it's
beautiful flowing football anymore. Fine.
it's just unbelievable. Like I know that there are a lot of high spend good players, like capital G good players, have gone to Arsenal this year.
Mm.
But you look down 6 places in the table, and where all of the good players were going, Liverpool just flounder. And I have to kind of say that might be because of more experience by the manager in being in the top of the Premier League than there is in Arne Slot. I'm saying something nice about Mikel Arteta before my voice gets too high and John's head explodes. He's done well, like.
If we want to talk about ours, if we want to talk about the Liverpool thing, they've invested an awful lot of money in a very short space of time. I think Slot's genius last year was in maintaining. Like people will say, Klopp didn't win the Premier League with that Klopp team. Now he did have Peak City, who have majorly not been Peak City the last 2 years.
Mm.
But like Slot did it last year, fair. Like his genius was not shaking the ship. Let's say,
Yeah.
not rocking the boat. As you were, boys, and this year now trying to fit. Now this year he's trying to implement his own style of football. He's trying to implement. Got players that he would have wanted for his way of envisioning football. Let's say that Liverpool squad right now is not actually balanced in the sense of, if you look at the formation that Liverpool have played over the last 8 years, 4-3-3, two high wingers, that squad's makeup is not built for that. It's actually built for like a 4-4-2 diamond with Wirtz sitting behind Ekitike and Isaac, and the midfield three of Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and McAllister. So
Hmm.
it's not built. Liverpool's best team right now is Ekitike, Isaac up top, Wirtz behind it. The three boys in midfield, and the back four of Konate, Van Dijk,
Where's the width
Robin,
coming from there?
Which
Where does the width come from there?
you don't need it if you play with that. In terms of that makeup of squad, you don't need that. Um, like that, like do you know what I mean? Like the way they'll play, the idea would be realistically, I think Slot wanted to implement a three at the back system this year with the two boys up top and Verts in behind, with Frimpong and Kirkes being the wing backs. That's why they wanted Gahey. No, that's why they wanted Gahey, because Frimpong is a right winger slash wing back. He's
Yeah.
more of a wing back than he is a right back, and Kirkes, I could probably argue similar. I reckon that's why they wanted Gahey. Was Gahey, Konate, Van Dijk as a back three, Frimpong on the right, Kirkes on the left, McAllister and Szoboszlai in the middle, or Gravenberch rotate between the three of them, Verts behind Isaac and Ekiteke. That would have been the formation I think they would have wanted, but they don't have the centre backs to do so. So I
Mm.
would say their other option right now is a 4-4-2 diamond. So I think that, like, they've bought players that don't fit in with the way Liverpool have played the last few years, and they started the season winning games barely.
Yeah.
And in the words of Ruben Amorim, the storm will come, and the storm has fucking come at Liverpool. But to bring that back to what we were saying about Arsenal, it means
Yeah.
that from an Arsenal perspective, in terms of challengers, who's there realistically to be their top challenger this year?
I mean, this is it. We've got a couple of teams that are way punching above their weight and are
There's an
enjoying
outside
their
chance
times
Man
on side.
United could be a fucking challenger, which is a joke. They're not, but this is what I mean. Like, in terms of where City are at this year, where Liverpool are at this year,
I don't
like
think there's a lot wrong
Chelsea.
with where City are at.
No, there's nothing wrong
To be
with where
honest with
any of
you,
them are at. It's early doors in the season, but 5 points clear of second, and second is Bournemouth.
I mean, not to go all Billy Bean on this, but Haaland's going to score a lot of goals,
Yes, he is.
and that translates to wins, and that translates to league positions. So
But it's 6 points clear of City already.
true,
It's
true, yeah. And I just
7 points
I
clear
always see
of
them in the mix.
Liverpool. It's 7 points clear of Liverpool
Mm.
already. The nearest challenger in terms of, you're looking at Bournemouth in second. Arsenal are top on 22. Bournemouth are second on 18. Spurs, Sunderland, third and fourth with 17 apiece. And then it's City and United with 16 apiece. And then Liverpool with 15. And then Chelsea are down in ninth with
Yeah.
14. And this is how tight it is, because even from 17th to 10th, you're talking 5 points.
Hmm.
Like,
Yes.
it's
Any reason you landed on 17th position there, John?
because we were going to talk about the relegations in a minute, so shut up.
We're not going to. Hey, look, Micro aren't far behind you or
It's
far
also
ahead of you.
mentioned in the sack race. The
It
article,
is
like,
mentioned in Zach
honestly, I
race.
will say this: the article is actually, I've written probably less recently, but I've probably spent a bit more time fiddling with bits around the article. So this is a
Hmm.
nice in-depth looking at each manager in the Premier League and how likely they are to get sacked. And the top,
Yeah, it's a good read. It's a good read.
well, the top three, I think, will bring us nicely onto my next.
Why, whatever do you mean, John?
In my article, because I wrote two articles this week. One of them is Sean Dyche coming in at Nottingham Forest after Ange. Would you believe he is in my top three most likely to be sacked managers? In
Dyche.
terms, number two is Nuno, who's obviously very recently. Nuno could set a record for most the quickest grouping of sackings in a Premier League season. He gets sacked in a 4-month space twice, and with the way
Yeah,
West Ham are going, it's likely. So if my top
wouldn't bet
three
against.
are Deitch in third, Nuno in second, Arnie Slot and Marco Silva drawing a fifth, Daniel Fark is in fourth, and way out in top, and a decision that's probably going to be made this weekend when Fulham beat them. Because I swear to God, if Fulham lose to Wolves this weekend, I'm going to cry.
Yeah,
But Peter Pereira at Wolves he's a dead man walking.
yes,
It's
the
done.
curtain needs to be called there immediately. Do you know what? Like it's got right, it's just so that our lovely listeners know. John goes away and writes articles and puts work in and understands football and writes about it, and I just play with numbers, right? And this week I went away and we had a look at three teams. We talked about Arsenal. Wolves are the second, and I had a little look at their numbers. And what I wrote, like what I tend to do in this situation is just write down little bits, little numbers, little links, little things, like we all do. We all have our process. Mine is a little bit, multi-dimensional mad professor, but that's how numbers people work. At the very top, I have just three words: just fucking why. Like I don't understand why it's this bad. Every fucking metric. And again, I'm going to be hung up on defense, but
Yeah,
they
but
get
this is
run
the whole
past
point.
by
Like this is the
attackers, the
whole.
second most of any squad in the league. After we won't say they have no clean sheets
I'll
this
go
year.
through this again. Sorry.
Yeah, so out of all of when one of the attacking men has the ball
Mm,
and there's a defending man coming at him,
sure.
and if the attacking man is confident or skilled, he knows he'll go for going past the defending man. And if the defending man is any good, he will stop him. They have not been stopping them. They are the most run past defense in the league, almost second most run past defense after Brighton. But like forwards are just going through them, right? But that's okay because right, there's a good goalie there. Yeah, no, zero clean sheets year to date, alongside other defensive disasters like Forest and Brighton. But nothing is going well for them. There is no statistical point where Wolves are doing well
9 games
at all.
in, minus 12 goal difference, and only 2 points on the board. It's already so far gone that like they're 6 points even out of getting out of the relegation spot right now. No, Jimmy, sorry, keep going. Right.
No, that's it. It's just fucking why. Like,
Um.
how is it this bad? How is a team this bad in the Premier League that have been there for a long time, have experienced players and experienced manager?
So do
What's
you
gone
know?
wrong?
Oh, okay. I can break this down. So do you know the way the running joke at the moment is Brighton are Chelsea's academy?
Yes,
Okay, so a few years ago, Southampton would have been Liverpool's academy.
yes, Van Dijk and all
And
that.
Mane
Yeah,
and shit. Yeah.
yeah,
So Wolves have been like a home for Portuguese footballers since they were taken over a few years back. So Ruben Neves ended up turning down Real Madrid to go to Wolves in the Championship. Now Wolves'
yeah.
model since they've got up to the Premier League is to sell their best or two best players each summer consistently. Like last summer, Cunha and Nate Nuri. They were replaced
Right, yeah.
with John Arias and Bueno, to who's like, do you know
Oh,
that kind of
Bueno's all
way?
right.
Hmm?
Bueno's all right.
He's all right, but he's not 8 Nuri. And
He's not.
if you keep going back the years, you had Max Kilman, you had like every year they've been selling players, and like Strand Larson nearly headed off to Newcastle to put the nail in the coffin this summer. So they've consistently sold their best players. They've replaced them with mediocrity, players who just aren't up to it, or they're hoping will get there. And like Strand Larson is someone who you can already see will get better, but is he going to get better quick enough to save Wolves? You know that kind of way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's potential there clearly, and
There's
there's
a lot. There's a
occasional
few
flashes
players
of brilliance.
There's a few players there with potential, but there's nothing around them. And the
Yeah,
scenes around Wolves the last 2 weeks, like I saw a video of Jose Sa in the car park after their match at the weekend with the fans going like, "Yeah." It was like, "Show some," and the fans were like, "Show some passion on the pitch." He's like, "Mate, I'm on the bench. I'm
yeah,
the I'm the second choice keeper right now." It's like, but yes, I agree, and we're conceding terrible goals and we're making mistakes. But do you think like you booing us every time we walk out on the pitch helps? Do you think you leaving the stadium at 60 minutes helps? Do you think? And then you've got the two back and forths. It's a fascinating watch. Jose Sa and the
mm,
fans, full respect to both. It doesn't descend into bullshit. It's two parties with the same vested interest having an honest conversation in a car park. It's very good. The fans end up clapping him away off into his car. But in the stadium after the match, the manager and Strand Larson ended up screaming and shouting and pulling at fans in the stadium.
really.
Yeah, there's a scene there where like Strand Larson is like shouting at a fan who's shouting at him, and Vita Pereira is there giving it the big one back. It's not a good place right now.
No,
And
doesn't
do you
sound like
remember?
it's a great look.
But do you remember last year when all the Wolves fans and Wolves went 6, 7 games unbeaten?
Mhm.
And I said something that that run coincided with the other three teams being relegated, that they could
Mm,
play with freedom because it didn't matter anymore. And they
yeah.
went away and they played with a bit of freedom and it didn't matter anymore. And they had fun and they could play ball. The pressure is on again. And when this Wolves team come under pressure, they crumble like
So
a kitty kinetic sand.
I had a little look forward as well as a look back,
Oh,
and I was
they're
like,
fun.
if I'm Wolves, who are the teams I least want to play? And they don't have, well, many of them, but their November lineup, right? Their November fixtures is, you guys have them next, right? At home at Craven Cottage.
Mhm.
Then it's off to Stamford Bridge. That's going to hurt. Home to Palace, who are a little bit of an unknown quantity right now, but I still wouldn't fancy Wolves to have a good time. And then away to Villa. And like, you're not talking there about four teams in the top six, but you are talking about four teams that are almost certainly going to hurt Wolves. And it's like, if they can't handle that sandwich at November, how are they going to eat their six
Well, what's
fisting
a
Christmas
realistic
dinner?
what's a realistic point salt from that? Like, what's a
Two.
realistic point? All right, so that
Two.
puts them on 4 points at Christmas.
Yeah. Well, there's December, but
Well,
you know,
okay, so coming into December, they have 4 points, and you need about 35 to 40 to stay up in the
yeah,
league.
like anyone
Like,
can
40
hold
is the magic
Chelsea.
number, and right now they have 38
Anyone
to
can hold
get.
Chelsea to a draw. You just wait till they get someone sent off because they will. And I could see a home draw at Palace if Palace are as rattled after their streak as I think they are, because it doesn't seem to have been happening a whole pile lately. There was that 3-all thriller with Brentford or Bournemouth or one of the bees not long ago.
Oh,
Um,
Bournemouth last week, Palace 3-3.
yeah,
Yes, yeah.
but call it what you want. It was a draw after a loss. Like the results are not what they were when they had their streak. So I could see a draw there on Wolves' best day, and they could fluke something against Chelsea. They're going to get hurt by Fulham, and they're going to get hurt by Villa. So I think it's lights out there, and I think it's a great call to say that my man has his bags packed because he should. I'm surprised he's lasted this long, given how many names we've seen sacked already this year.
It-
Two, three.
well, this is the thing. They were relying on the fact that he's got the Portuguese connection. They've got a big Portuguese connection in the dressing room. The fact that he is a good manager. He is a good manager.
Mhm.
They have this kind of they're just as a squad. They're just plain and simple not good enough. Put Sam Allardyce in that job. He's not keeping him up. Put Pep Guardiola in that job. He's not keeping him up. Get Jose Mourinho in his prime. He's not keeping him up. They're a championship grade team, and they're a team that doesn't necessarily guarantee to get promotion back
Mm.
out of the championship at the first go either. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, nobody can guarantee that except Burnley for some reason. Burnley will be fine. Burnley will be up and down forever. But
Yeah,
Wolves, if they go down, could stay down for a while because, it, you know yourself, the championship's a goddamn lottery.
but like, look at the
Uh,
squad. Sam Johnston, eh. Hoiver,
yeah.
eh. Bellegarde, Munetze, Andre, they're all
Is
fine.
is
Gomez, Strand Larson will go. He's gone anyway, probably in January.
is Sa injured or is he just out of favor?
He's out of favor.
How the hell did that happen?
Age.
Okay, I've heard of that. Wouldn't know, obviously.
Yeah, no. Yeah. It's just he's an older keeper now.
Okay.
Sam Johnson, when he got into the team last year, pretty much took that place and went, yeah, we'll have a bit of that. But either way, like Jose Sa and Sam Johnson, there's not a million miles between them in terms of quality.
Yeah.
Like, look across the team. Is there anybody right now on that Wolves team that a big like over the last few years the big clubs have sniped out of Wolves? Like, do you know what I mean? You've had fellas like Vitinha played at Wolves there 2 years ago or 2 or 3 years ago, and he's over at
Mhm.
PSG rocking it now. But like go through the squad there, and I'm like, the only one that a bigger team would want is Strand Larson, and the big team that would probably want him is Spurs.
Yes, so that they can take another second tier striker in the hope that he will become first tier and watch and cry as it doesn't happen
Pretty
again.
much.
That
Yes.
seems to be
So
the
now
pattern
you
there.
now understand exactly what I'm saying. There's nobody in that
I
Wolves
do.
squad. Like everybody knew Aït was going to an Arsenal, a City, a Chelsea in the summer. Everybody knew Cunha was going to a United, a Chelsea, and Arsenal in the summer. It was
He's
just going. It was time.
Would you save Joe Gomez? If the ship was sinking, would you save Joe
But I
Gomez for
don't
your
think he
squad?
goes to that level of team. I don't think. Do you know what I mean? I think it's an Aston Villa
Mm.
and Newcastle.
But I mean, what I'm getting at here is for the because obviously it's a very football heavy episode this week. We're not going too deep into the fantasy stats because we're in the middle of building and rebuilding, but less on that for now. In terms of actual fantasy assets, Strand Larsen's the obvious one.
I think he's the
Is
only one.
there value in Gomez? I wonder.
No.
Is there going to be a lot of reliance on him?
Yeah, he'll play. I think the only one, if we're talking assets at Wolves, it's Strand Larson, and even then, I
That's a
don't pick
stretch.
it 2 points in 9 games. So it means they're not scoring. It means they're not getting chances. It means he's
Yeah.
probably going to end up the season with about 8 Premier League goals, all told.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a great call actually. Draft wise, you just don't touch them really, do you?
Just don't touch Wolves.
They're around 17 if you've been absolutely outplayed.
Like, put it like this: if you're looking at West Ham, right? West Ham are in the shit too,
Yes.
but we have three very clear and obvious assets at West Ham:
I could give you two.
Paqueta, Bowen, and Suchek.
Suchek's not really firing. Paqueta
No,
and Bowen, yeah, but Suchek, he's not where he was. All
okay,
the
fair.
usual stuff, like tackles and aerials,
But
the
what I mean
Tarkovsky
is,
stuff, but
okay, but like
not
even
the
then,
highlights he's been
okay,
before.
sorry, Diouf, the fullback, Diouf, Bowen, Paqueta. If you were to look,
Yeah,
there's a couple of assets at West Ham. If you were to look at Nottingham Forest, you go right. Give me a bit of Murillo, give me a bit of Chris Wood, give me a bit of Elliot
Moreland.
Anderson. You look at Fulham, you can go, give me a bit of Josh King, give
Mm,
me some of Wobie. There's points there. If you look at Burnley, you've got okay, automatically you're going Josh Cullen, Jaden
Josh
Anthony.
Cullen.
If you look at Leeds, you've got Statch and Goodmanson. If you go to Everton, you've got Grealish. If you go to Brighton, you've
There's
got
nothing.
Welbeck and Van Hecke. So that's up to 12th in the league.
Yeah,
There's
there's really nothing
at
there to
every
be
other
had.
team
Like,
you can look at it and go, there's one or two players who, yeah, pick them if they're going to be bench options or fellas to come in on random weeks if you're doing draft style. Even over if you're playing in the sisters, like there's one or two players there. If you're looking at cheap buys for your squad, get in. Do not touch Wolves. Do not touch them with a bat. They're going to probably be the earliest ever Premier League team relegated. They're going to take that title from Ipswich last year.
so let me ask the awful question: how do they fix it?
They don't. They go down,
Oh, okay.
and that's how they fix it.
Parachute payment. They still got a
They
lot of money
rebuild.
going out, don't
They
they?
rebuild the squad. They give me like that team. Like they get the young fellas playing for a year in the championship, regular game time at a level where they should be better or best. It's that or invest massively in January and gambles.
There's no money there.
But there's no gamble. Like but who do they get? What did they do? Like they're probably going to have to go and do what like we'll talk about Sunderland in a minute. But
We will.
Sunderland were the fifth highest spenders in world football last Joe this summer. They
Yeah.
outspent Atletico, PSG, this, that, and the other. It's paying dividends right now, but they're still going to end the Premier League season around 14th. That's just what's going to happen here. That steam will run out of the engine. But Wolves have no coal in the kitchen to get the fire brewing in the first place.
Yeah, it's grim for Molyneux, isn't it? It's really fucking grim.
They're going down. I think Burnley will go down, and then I'd love to see Forest go down.
Um, for the antics of their owner, I would enjoy seeing Forest go down. I think West Ham kind of have it coming too. I watched them playing the other day against Sunderland. Was it? Who were
Yeah,
they playing? Yeah, it was Sunderland. Yeah, and
whoever.
what I
No,
couldn't
was it Brentford
understand.
in the cup?
No, it was definitely league. It was definitely league.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And I was watching a list, four lads at the back who, apart from one of them, have extensive experience in the Premier League, working together and in other clubs under an experienced manager. And I watched a team that couldn't defend, and I thought, you know what, off with them. So
A new no team that can't defend.
I knew no team they can't defend, like, but
I don't like the way
they're
West
good
Ham. I
defenders.
like. There's also for me. There's also the fan thing to look at over West Ham. You
But
fans
they all
who
left at half time. That blew my mind. I
even
didn't know that was
before
a thing.
halftime. They're unhappy with the owners. My thing is West Ham have this expectation that they want to be a big club. Like, but they go through this pattern of they hire David Moyes. He wins the European Cup. Oh, we don't like the way you play football. Here, let's hire some shiny, sexy toy. Oh, that doesn't work. Sack him after 6 months. Get Moyes back. He goes and stabilizes, improves, builds. Your football isn't as fun as the fans would like, so we're still unhappy, even though you get brought us a trophy. Sack him, hire the shiny new toy, and then we ended up with Graham Potter. Now Moyes is obviously at Everton, so what's the defensive action coach you can get to shore up a ship and get them firing again? Nuno. It's a rotation here. Like the owner's having a fucking barney of what they're doing over there. Um,
So who would
the
you slot
squad
in there?
building. West Ham have spent out. If you look at West Ham strikers, oh, there's a history here. They have spent bank for the last 15 years trying to buy a centre forward. Bank. Like go down through these. And Mikel Antonio has just turned them all down the train.
I didn't know this was a long-term thing.
This is a long. Oh, oh my days. Oh my days. There's like.
I know Danny Ings did part of his retirement tour there, and there was nothing in
I'm
that.
gonna get.
Hero of 10 years ago that he was. Hero at Southampton. Southampton?
Let's.
QPR.
So the way that. Oh,
Maybe
this
both.
is from
How many clubs has Danny Ings had?
many.
I'm looking it up because I'm trying
Let
to
me see.
remember which Danny Ings it was I fell for. Was it the QPR
Article
account?
here from the Daily Mail: the West Ham striker graveyard, 300 million on 54 forwards since 2010,
Oh my!
and that's
Oh
not.
my
So this
goodness!
article is also from when they signed Evan Ferguson on loan, so it doesn't count what they've since bought.
Huh? Okay. Okay. I get it. I get it.
Which
Those are hard numbers. So what's the fix? Who goes into that job?
Nuno's the right guy for the job.
Really?
I like Nuno as a manager. I think he's defensively solid, but I think the club right now is the toxic place.
Okay.
The fans are not happy with the ownership. They're not happy with the investment. They're not happy that they're not doing better. They're just not a happy bunch.
Okay.
You're seeing it with fans leaving stadiums after half an hour. Like if fans are leaving, like normally if your team's a goal down, right, their objective hope is probably the best way I would describe it. Because if your team is a goal down after 20 minutes, you're not going, oh yeah, fuck this, let me go home. You go right, let's sing and shout and get them going. But the West
Yeah.
Ham fan base right now are more, not this again.
Well, I can understand dejection. I mean, after repeated batterings, you get there. I just find it interesting that you think Burnley will go down and West Ham will stay up. Burnley are 6 points clear of West Ham.
They are,
I know
but
it's early,
Burnley,
but
yeah, I know.
there's not as many. They're like the numbers stay low that end. The numbers don't change dramatically down that end, unless you get like an Everton turnaround from 2 years ago. But that was, I
Which they
think, everybody was
won't.
cheering for that.
I'm just going through some of West Ham's recent strikers. I'm just fascinated. Nick Fulkrug, Danny Ings, Lucas Kamaka for 30 million. He lasted
Waste
all
of
but
time.
2 years. Nikola Vlasic, Jared Bowman obviously worked. A Jetty, Sebastian Haller, Jew, Lucas Perez, Andrei Yarmolenko, Jordan Hugel, Javier Hernandez, Marco Arnautovic, Andre Ayew. I'm skipping some here that you wouldn't know. Simon
I remember
Zaza,
these names. Arnautovic
Ashley
used to be at Stoke,
Fletcher,
wasn't he?
Feguli, Mikel Antonio. Mikel Antonio was back in 2015. So that's what they've bought since Antonio. And before that, you
Yeah.
had like Jelavic, Nene, Saka, Ener Valencia, Mara Zarate, who was the streets will never forget. Carlton Cole. They haven't had a functioning striker that we go back not even that far ago, 2019 when he left the club, 2012 when he joined the club.
I remember Andy Carroll.
2012 to 2019, and Mikel Antonio came in 2015. So we're talking nearly
Long way
15
back.
years of West Ham struggling to find a consistent regular frontman.
But you think they stay up?
I think they will. I think with the manager like Nuno, with the players that they do have there, like Juff, and Wan-Bissaka are good defenders. I think they'll go buy a defender or something maybe in the January. The midfield with Paqueta, Soucek. You have Jared Bowen there. You have Crescencio Somerville there. You do have your man from Wilson and Nick Fulkrug, two injury-bared strikers there. So if they can get
Ah,
those,
come on. Wilson's not keeping anyone up.
No, but the two of them just are never fit. So if they can get themselves
Yeah.
a fit centre forward and a centre back to shore it up, I think they'll be. I think like the rest of the
Maybe.
squad is good enough. But if you can't keep the ball out of the net and you can't score a goal, kind of a problem. You're
Yeah.
you're
And right
relying
now
a
they
lot on
can't
bare bones.
either.
So when I was looking at that sack list, Vita Pereira's next up. Nuno is in danger. Um, what's causing danger? Like Sean Dyche in danger over in Nottingham because it's just bananas. Marco Silva's contract is up at the end of the year. Fulham, I think that's now playing a part in their form. Is our manager going to be here next year? I think not investing in the midfield has come home to roost, and the fact those couple of poor decisions that didn't go their way at the start of the season took a bit of wind out of the sails in
Mhm.
terms of the momentum. I watched them last night against Wickham, and they went to penalties at Wickham.
Oh
So
dear.
now, not a full strength 11, but a strong enough 11 that it should have mattered. But anyway, instead of dancing in the shit, can we
Let's
talk about a team that should have been dancing in the doo doo?
let me tell you something, John. I can't actually talk about this team because the maths confuses, scares, and arouses me all at the same time. Um,
Nice.
it's Sunderland in fourth, and they've been top four for the entire season.
Yep.
Um,
Home form's class.
home forms class defensively, it's like 9 at the back, and it works. But they score goals. They've got two absolutely, I would say, statter speak. We've got three absolutely must have assets in Hume at the
Ooh.
back. Yeah, Hume. This lad Hume
Hugh,
is a
Michele, Roos.
monster. Roos. Yeah, Roos. If you haven't got one of the like poster boy goalies, get Roos.
Yeah.
Because he's better than all of them statistically. And
He's this year's siege keeper. He's this year's
yeah,
must have keeper. I think everybody thought it was going to be Dubravka at Roos.
yeah. I think we called it for Dubravka at the start of the season,
Yeah.
and then it just didn't happen again because it's Dubravka. And then there's the man who's on his second go around in this crazy carousel they call the Premier League.
Signing of the season.
Absolutely, he
Signing of the
has
season.
like across the board of every stat you could want from a midfielder. He's in like top 10 out of the entire fucking league. I mean, defensive and attacking and creative and supporting. It's Granit Xhaka.
It's Granit Xhaka. Granit
He's
Xhaka
a phenomenon.
he's the most influential. He might
Yeah,
not be the best signing of the summer, right? Long term, you're still going to be looking at Nekateke, you're still going to be looking at Isaac, but in terms of impact, in terms of leadership, in terms of like inspirational change, just the most inspiring signing of the season is Granit Xhaka, and he's a player
yeah.
who doesn't get his flowers enough for me. Like he went to Bayern Leverkusen, they went a season unbeaten. They lost one game in all competitions all season, and it was the Adamola Lookman European Conference Final. My game football. So 60 odd games, they lost one. That was the team with Florian Wirtz, with Frimpong, with Tell, was it Tell? Anyway, like all the Leverkusen players. One of them was listed on the Ballon d'Or list that year, and it's kind of fucking Xhaka,
Too right.
the captain, the leader,
Yeah,
the heartbeat of the team. Granit Xhaka is one of those players that his value, like, it's great to see it coming up in the numbers, and this is part of the reason why I think, like, we obviously got into building Statter in the first place. If you were to just look at GA, you know what I mean? It's
yeah. That's the dull stuff.
he's that
This guy
beating. If
is.
you take him out of that team, that heart don't beat.
Yeah,
He's the
like
pump of the heart, if that makes sense. He's the cement in the stones. And the
it's
man,
just unbelievable.
there's
Like
this lovely clip where they win the match. They obviously win against Chelsea away, off into the away end, and in singing, oh, just going to the crowd clapping. And what's it? What's the song? Can't Help Falling in Love with You is what they're serenading him with. And
nice,
mm,
nice. I mean, yeah, he's phenomenal statistically. I'm not even going to go through the data points on this guy. I'm just going to say if somehow you were in a draft league and nobody has Xhaka, take him now because your friends are all asleep. Um, but Sunderland are weird, and I have
Sunderland
I
are
have
weird. I would
an
agree with that.
observation and a vaguely related question.
Hit me.
for you, Mr. Football Man. Okay, so I was having a look at their possession, and there's a weird inverted relationship
They
where
don't
the
like
games
possession.
where they really don't like it. When they have lower possession, they win. When they have higher possession, they draw or lose or win by smaller margins, which is kind of weird, but it says to me they're sneaky little poachers who are making very smart passes or taking things on the counter very quickly,
Yeah,
getting the one to win the game, and that's it. Then it's back to five at the back as usual.
it's
Uh,
yes and no. It's yes and no, right? Like if you watch a Sunderland game, yeah, they're in a deep block. They know they're going to be a weaker team in the league. They play a 5-3-2 or a 5-4-1 at times. It's what would look on paper to be a quite defensive system, but they work like dogs. Like they
as
run,
in,
they put in a
okay.
shift, they cover ground. It's not like where you'd expect a defensive minded team where it's bank, bank, and they just
Mhm.
sit there like stodgy cheese and go, "Here, try get through me." They'd like that's not. Do you know what I mean? They harry, they harass, they're hunting in packs, so that when they get that ball, they can just and get gone. It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
it's
the vibe I took from the numbers.
it's
Yeah.
defensive, but intense defense. If that makes sense, it's not a passive. Let's stack the box and let you throw crosses in, and we'll just send them back from whence they came all day, which they can do when Dan Ballard is massive, which helps. But no, like it's do you know what it is? They're like they will drop off. They're a fascinating story so far this season. If you look at their results, 2-1 away against Chelsea, 2-0 against Wolves. They lost 2-0 to United. They beat Nottingham Forest 1-0. There is also an element here of did they hit the teams at their right times? If you get me, let's go. Like if we look through, was there cat?
Yeah. Yeah.
um, they beat Chelsea probably at the right time. Um, United obviously they got the wrong time, but before that, Wolves or Nottingham Forest. Before that, Aston Villa. Before Aston Villa turned their corner. Before that, draw against Palace after Palace's first week in Europe. Um, Brentford before that. They lost to Burnley and they beat West Ham in the opening night of the season at home.
Yeah. And there's a
There's a
so
lot to be said
on
for
the like fixtures
momentum here. Like,
on the actual team performance. Like I think last week was actually really important for them
yes,
because if you look at their fixtures, right, um, up until this, like if you're a cynic, right, and I'm not saying there's such a thing for a recently promoted club that haven't been in the Premier League for 10, 15 years. I don't even fucking know how long. It was
it's
kind of
been a
easy
while.
mode in terms of fixtures. Like there was no City, no Arsenal, no Liverpool, no Spurs, right? And then this week they beat Chelsea, and suddenly it's like, hold on now a minute. If we can take some big scalps, then maybe this isn't like they're out of the first 8 weeks
Well,
and they're still there.
they should stay up now. Like they're most of the
Oh
way
yeah,
they're hitting the magic 40 points number. So like
yeah.
what'll happen there is they'll hit the magic number and they'll fall off the cliff because it'll be like, oh shit, we've done it. Mission
What
complete.
I mean,
This
I
is
suspect that the best situation for the players would be that they hit that position like really soon and then flood the fuck out in the January window to bigger names for your contracts. Would be my
no,
guess.
you stay there till the end of the season, possibly top half finish if you can maintain it because the bonus they'll be on for doing anything above
Yes.
the bonus they'll get for doing anything above staying in the league will be crazy because the club would never have assumed that they could do it. So
I,
they'll
I
get
got
tiny
another
bonus.
stat. I got another stat for you.
Hit me, I like this.
Shot creation.
They're quite high.
No, sir.
Really? Very efficient?
From top to 20th, where would you place them off your
Well,
gut?
given what you've said about 18th.
I'm getting sick of saying John was right. It was in fact 18th.
Ah,
Did you know that? Or did you?
no.
Oh, you prick.
But if
Yeah,
I'm
no,
going
that
to
was well
assume
done.
lower, it's going to be Wolves and West Ham.
Yeah, let's pretend it is. And
So it's Brighton and it's Brighton and
let's not.
Wolves.
Right? No, it's not right. No. I'm going to stop dumping on my beloved Seagulls now, lest they score. Yeah, 18th in shot creation. So again, it kind of speaks to that opportunistic, precise, don't mess around, get it done. Like it's hot and nasty in terms of the numbers. They have 6 fewer goals than City. and they're sitting just above them in the league table on 5 wins
November
each. They have
does
an
look
extra
tough for
draw.
them though, because like they've got Everton,
Well, I'm
Arsenal.
glad you got there. Like, does it?
Everton and
Have got
Arsenal
off
is
the
the next
boil.
2 games, and Bournemouth.
Everton aren't what they were 3 weeks ago. Fulham are, I think we'll agree, not the best version of Fulham that we've seen.
No, I didn't count them. I said Bournemouth, Arsenal, and Everton in the same month is
Bournemouth and Arsenal, I think that Arsenal game could be something amazing. It could be absolutely amazing because they'll be at home as well, so their fans are going to get
Granit
feral.
Xhaka against his old Premier League club.
And Xhaka.
One of
But
these
you've got
lovely
you've
little
got an
Premier League.
attacking Arsenal who are incredibly tight defensively, but very much an attacking team still. You couldn't call them boring, much as you want to. And you have a Sunderland who are super good at keeping threats away from their goalie, who himself is very, very strong.
Very good.
I think that's going to be the highlight of the month, having looked at the fixtures ahead. I genuinely think that's the one to watch. Bournemouth will be fun too. You never know what you're going to get there. I don't think I think AFC Bournemouth exist entirely to spite me. We've seen this in last man
So
standings
anytime
where I
you
didn't realize they were first alphabetically. The AFC, fuck off. There was the me saying they would get relegated, so now they're second in the Premier League. So Bournemouth, yeah, I get it, right?
yeah,
But Sunderland could beat them. They really could.
like
And at
they're
that point, you could be
doing
looking
well,
at
like
3 wins in November. And then suddenly we're not talking about like magic 40 points. We're talking about 29 points going into December. Or sorry, 26.
they look. They're going to stay. I think they're 17 points. They're halfway to the total they need. I think they'll stay up. But what will happen is you'll start to see them when the fixtures pile up around Christmas. You'll start to see them slide back the table.
Yeah.
If they finish somewhere from 9th to 14th, they'll still classify that as a good season. I
And
know at the
this
moment
is,
they're flying. At the moment they're flying, and we'd all love the big romantic story of, oh, the big team now. But we have to like. I think there is also an element to here. We have to kind of preface this with going. Sunderland this summer spent
yeah.
money.
Is
Like
this the Forest model? Spend a lot, go up for a year or two, and then see if it sticks?
no, Sunderland are historically a big club. Like Roy Keane had their highest ever Premier League finish when he was the manager. Um,
Okay.
I
Didn't know
think
that.
that's what they're looking to match this year. Like, do you know what I mean? If they can get to
Where
where
did he finish?
it was.
I don't know.
Bollocks.
I'm going to have to look.
10th or something like that. It's their highest ever Premier League finish. So if they can match that this year, it was while Roy Keane was the manager. It was their first year in the Premier League after he promoted them. That's how long. Like he did. People forget that he did quite well as the manager there.
Yeah. 7th in 99 2000. Fairclough.
Was it that?
That must be their highest. But
Okay, well
anyway, sure,
then I'm
look,
wrong. Well then I'm
either.
wrong.
Sorry, I'm very confused about timelines and whatnot. This all happened during my fast years. I don't remember a lot of football from back then because
But
there were no
anyway,
spreadsheets, only pints.
then I'm incorrect, but I know he did quite well with them. But if they
No
can
doubt.
basically finish anywhere from 8th to 14th, they'll be like, this is a dancing good season. They're
And
on 17 after 940 is the magic number. When the
what's
fixtures
the
pile up,
worry though?
when the
What's the thing that cocks it up? Is it just that the rigor of December and the lack of maybe a deeper
the
squad
rigor,
like the
rigor
cities
of
and Arsenals?
December, when you come up, there's some teams that come up like Sunderland have a big fan base, the big home fan base. Back in the Premier League, that home crowd is lifted. They're loving life being back. Then it gets sluggy. You have a Monday night where you have to travel from Sunderland to Brighton for a Monday 8 o'clock kickoff. You know, you lose
Yeah,
that. That now you've got Arsenal and Chelsea in the following 2 weeks. Now you're 4 games in a row with losses. Now your
sure.
momentum is shot in the ass.
Right, right. So kind of,
Like there's a lot to be said about momentum because I kind of touched on this with Fulham. Like if you look at the game against Chelsea and game against Aston Villa, that's 6 points that they could have had right now, which changes very much their season. But now the momentum is in the pits, and now they're in trouble. Now they're
yeah,
in real fucking trouble. But
yeah,
if those little things, those games went differently, the table looks very different for them. The momentum behind them. Man United a month ago, Amarim was getting sacked and sent off in his holidays. Now it's a case of can they stay in the top 6 for the season? Arnie Slot a month ago was the second coming of Jesus. Now they've lost 5 and
yeah.
6.
It's a cruel game, and the wind changes direction very, very quickly for managers.
But
I
like
said once on
Liverpool
here
went
that
from
goalie was the most.
top of the league to 7th, and haven't won a game in 5 or 5 out of 6 of their last games they've lost.
Yeah,
You know, momentum in football is a big thing, and it's the same way when we're looking at fancy football players. You kind of want to hit them at the mid of their. If you can get them 1 week before everybody, was it 2 years ago, Matoma,
Yeah,
where if you caught him, he went on like a 7 week run, and if you caught him on the second week, it was worth an awful lot of points to
actually,
you.
always a top drafting tip, by the way. Since we're talking Matoma, I don't even remember this. It was 2 drafts ago, and I think I picked up Kaoru Matoma in like the 9th round in a
Yes.
10-man league and I got Madison that year, and it was for a really simple reason. It's because they had been injured late in the season the year before, which meant that when everybody was looking at form and total points for last season, they were way down the ranks and had a gap. So keep an eye out for that, lads. If you are drafting, don't forget, form doesn't tell you everything, and sometimes it can hide gems. Injuries
Yes.
are your friend if you use them the right way.
No, but what I mean
Drafting,
is, like that year, if you got Matoma at the right time, you were
yeah,
flying. Last year, if you got Chris Wood 2 weeks before everybody else woke up to him, you were onto a flyer. But you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, there's the. And right now, when you look at Sunderland right now, you'd be looking at Isidore, you'd be looking at Xhaka, you'd be like, okay, there's a bit of momentum here. It's the same reason why Strand Larson last year. If you picked Strand Larson up 2 weeks before everybody last year, you were dancing.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like there's
absolutely.
that's what I'm saying is form does count. Like Bournemouth aren't staying second. Like they're not. Like
They're
they're
not.
not. It's the same way Sunderland, even though they've spent a bang of money, that momentum shift will happen. It's happened once in all the time in the Premier League where there's been an outlier. And we love to reference it because it was obviously Leicester's Premier League win. But like it's called an outlier for a reason. It was a 5,000 to 1 shot for a reason. It's because it's
Yeah,
not likely to happen. But that's basically the crack on those three teams. Like basically Wolves, Arsenal, oh shit, are they good? Sunderland, oh shit, they're better than we thought. And Wolves, oh my god, you're just fucking shit. And it's kind of where that's at. Uh,
next
like we
next week,
went,
I'm hoping that we have a guest appearance by my brother in the wake of a Brighton victory over Leeds. That would
I think, yeah,
satisfy
that's
me in
this
the warm
weekend. We've
place.
got, we just do a whistle
Um,
stop touring the matches this weekend.
yeah, lead the way, Chief.
We've got Brighton versus Leeds. If you're going to look at assets there, get Danny Welbeck. He is that
Yeah,
street player right now. Uh, Leeds go for Goodmanson. Over at Burnley versus Arsenal. Pick whatever Arsenal defenders you want. Burnley are
Arsenal,
kind of gloving
Arsenal
them.
defenders.
Yeah,
And by the way, Bukayo Saka, the points per game are growing.
yeah. Baby Bukayo's back. And it's against Palace or it's against Burnley.
No, it's
So
Burnley. It's a massacre.
my one is pick your Akaras this week.
Yeah,
This is the
yeah.
week. He'll prove my point this week, by the way. He'll score two against Burnley this week, and Dean and Dermot will be in the group going, no, 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 no. And I'll be sitting there going, yes, this is exactly what I told you. But anywho, Palace versus Brentford.
Palace.
I'm saying I want to pick up a bit of Kevin Chad right now. And over at Palace, I want to pick up Munoz. Those are the two.
Munoz Gay. Again, like Arsenal, anyone at the back is solid. A lot of getting forward there.
Yep.
So they're good all rounders. I'm
Fulham
gonna
Wolves.
say Fulham. Any? Do you know what? For old time's sake, you'd nearly dust off Bernd Leno this week. It's going to be his clean sheet for the year.
It's going to be a clean sheet this weekend.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
one I'd be saying to pick would be the goal has to come from somewhere. Put on Alex Iwobi. Forest
yeah.
United. I think United are going to continue on their current run of positive form. Mbuemo or Ahmad, pick either of the two of them. Those two are
Uh,
linking up. They'll assist each other.
I'm going to say two things that you're not going to like. The first
Yep.
one is it's time to get Milenkovic back in because, as you will have read on StatrCast.com, we know that the new Forest way of work will involve a lot more big man at the back breaking legs, and that's where Nicola's at his best. Uh,
Which
but
is where he'll go up against Sesko. So I would be
but
saying you go pick Ahmad or Mbuemo.
there's an anomaly. There's an anomaly in the numbers. So there is a man playing for Manchester United who ostensibly has been playing very good football, but the football he's been playing has been a lot of off the ball genius, and unfortunately, that's very hard to measure and turn into fantasy points. So while you may be tempted to Cunha, don't Cunha.
Mbuemo or Ahmad.
Mbuemo or Ahmad. Correct and right, sir.
Those two are connecting brilliantly. That's where they pull their gaps. And Mbuemo has now hit a little run of form, so I'd be going Mbuemo right there.
London. London.
Spurs, Chelsea.
Kudus. Kudus. Because that's an anything can happen game, and he's just been absolutely fixture proof.
That's the game of the weekend for me.
Yeah.
That's
no idea what's going to happen there.
I have no idea what either team is going to play. Like, are Spurs going to go with Johnson, Richarlison, and Tell? Are they going to go Simmons? Are they going to go Kolomoani? Are they going to go Odegaard again? I don't know how he keeps playing. Chelsea, who's going to be the supporting cast around João Pedro this week?
Who's the red card this week?
Red card this week will be Cucurella.
No, he's not a fighter. He's not that kind of boy. Would he get himself in trouble? Yeah, maybe. Dissent, maybe second yellow.
It'll be a 2 yellow, or it will be 1 stupid red. Like one of those, like he didn't mean it, but it's a red. It'll be. I'm going there. Chelsea. I think if I'm looking at getting rid of Pedro from my teams at the moment.
Yeah, massively dropped next door. I read an article on it on the sister site over at FPL. Fair play to them, and they were like, "Who is the replacement?" Everybody's patience is worn thin. He hasn't scored in 4 or 5.
It's consecutively low points.
It's a lot of money. If you're playing Moneyball, he was an exceptional pick at the start of the season because his value went up, but you should have dropped him ages ago.
Probably 2 weeks ago.
It's Chalobah. Chalobah's solid. Enzo. Caicedo. Jesus, Caicedo.
Yeah, Caicedo's the asset there at Chelsea, and over at Spurs is probably Kudus. Liverpool, Villa, Matty Cash.
Obviously, the highest.
He scored 2 in the last 3 games. He scored against City against the weekend. That's 2 in the last 3, I think, for Matty Cash.
It's for me. There is one man who is starting to pop up more frequently than last night's Curry, and it's Dominic Szoboszlai. He's been in and out of the team of the week, but he is always there. The other one to watch there from a fantasy point of view, because he seems to be much more nailed on than the rest of the attacking line, apart from Salah, who doesn't play anymore really. It's Cody Gakpo. Cody Gakpo has been chugging away quietly. Himself and Szoboszlai. They're the ones. If you're going draft, going long term, pick those two. If you want a flash in the pan this week, I think McAllister.
Okay.
Just a feeling. I just think they go hard against Villa and they go for the destroyer of midfield instead of the fleet-footed gazelles like Curtis Jones midfield. I think they go straight at Villa, and I think Villa go straight at them. I expect a very physical game. So, McAllister this week.
Sure. West Ham, Newcastle. Wutamendi.
Yep. Captain him. Triple captain him.
I think that's it. I think that's actually the move this weekend. Fuck you. I was genuinely considering that.
He's on form. He's going to be. Do you know what? He's going to be the lad that finishes third in the Golden Boot for the season.
He's just.
I don't know who's first or second. Well, I know who's first. I don't know who's second. I don't know who's fourth, but I know he's third.
He's going to chip away, isn't he?
Yeah, there's going to be 2 in 3 games consistently.
He's just going to chip away tidily. Yeah. West Ham are in trouble, but if you're going to pick anybody there, pick up Jarboe.
And Paquetá. To be fair to him, he's a grafter.
Yeah, fair. Not much joy there. It's going to be It's septic there. It's at home. They're going to lose because they're at home, and the fans are going to walk out when the big man does big man things, and they're just going to throw the toys out the pram and go home. The team of the season versus is Man City, Bournemouth versus City, Semenyo versus Haaland.
I mean,
that's what you're picking, right?
That's. Do you know what? 1-1.
Asset-wise, am I right in saying those are the two?
Both teams trying to kill the game at different points.
Fair. Okay, I can get behind that.
Not a high scoring one. The Viking and lot went in, and then probably Semenyo because it's pretty predictable. But
I can get behind a bit of that.
What it is right. Semenyo, and I'm not just having a swipe because it's Fulham, right? He pulled apart Fulham, right?
He did.
The Fulham defense
is apart
not
a lot of teams.
He has, but he's not going to pick apart City at home.
Well, he shouldn't. Well,
they're
this version of
dead.
City, he could.
Nah, I don't think so, mate. I think they just have enough about them. They're not that weak defensively. They score quite a bucket of goals. As I said, they're on 17 goals this season, which is nearly as many as West Ham have let in. So that's how much that is.
Yeah.
So I could see them squeaking it, but I'm going to say 1-1. And yeah, certainly Semenyo and Haaland, it's the strikers all day long there.
Sunderland, Everton, Monday Night Football.
If you just joined us at 1 hour and 7 seconds into the broadcast, this has been the Granit Xhaka love-in hour. And if you pick anyone else in Sunderland, you're out of your mind. Take Roofs. Everton aren't going to score away. They still have a striking problem. I
Well,
was talking to the
I'm
only
going off
Everton
the
fan
Jack
I know
Grealish
today.
train right now. I think if you want to differentiate, you're going for a bit of Ndoye.
Yeah, Ndye's good for the runs. Nah. But as long as Beto is starting out front, that team's not going to score goals. Not in
And
the
it's
volume
not
they need.
happening for Barry yet.
No.
It will.
My favorite Welsh Everton fan, who might be listening this evening, was kind of bemoaning the same, and he was like, "We've got this great midfield, we've got like defensive legendary stuff, but it doesn't matter with Beto. Just doesn't matter. He's not good enough, So don't pick him." And
I don't know.
that's next weekend.
I think that's kind of basically it. Last update, and then we get the out of here. So we are on the cusp of November. On the cusp of November, yes. And we are obviously one of the lucky brands that pair up and partner with Movember, the men's mental health charity, and obviously the drive that we all know and love over there. I think I'll be growing. I'll just shave this and have a mustache and just go with
So
that.
I
But you can
learned
get involved. I'll have a link in the podcast bio. The link is
I
available
learned a
on all
thing
our
this year.
socials, and we're going
I
to
learned a thing.
go the distance.
Yeah, I didn't know the distance was an option. I think it's great because like Movember is a really, really cool organization, a really cool cause. Obviously, it's close to all of our hearts. But I'm very precious about my weird ass fit, like graying Brillo pad. I don't want to get rid of it. And I know there's a lot of dudes out there the last few years who, after COVID, might have like slightly changed their look. I'm talking to you, fellow long-haired dads and bearded men and bearded people. Um, you don't have to shave anything off. You can just increase your getting out and about and walking and running, log your time and go for distance instead of length. And that's what I'm doing this
Yes.
November. I'm going to try and rack up 60 kilometers, which isn't a whole pile, except that it's really cold and wet outside. I don't like being out in it. So
60
it's a bit of
kilometers
extra effort.
is 60 kilometers is what 2 kilometers a day for throughout the month.
It is on 2 kilometers a day, and 2 kilometers a day you will feel good about once you get used to doing it.
But
Trust me.
also here's the thing, right? Here's the lovely little kicker. If you want to do that as 5K 3 times a week, fine. But we are doing this in conjunction, obviously, with the football team locally. I'm involved with Somerville Rovers. Obviously, we have sponsored their training gear before, so we're trying to make this a lovely, like online offline community kind of vibe. Get involved with local sports teams, kind of where lads are around lads. We're obviously a football app ourselves, football game ourselves. So kind of getting involved with a local football team in terms of the getting us out and about and lads around each other where, you know, the part I love about being involved in football throughout the whole years from start to finish is that grouping, the
Mhm.
it's a place where, Jesus Christ, I remember the junior team I went into at 16, and you had one fellow who was a pharmacist, another fellow who was a bricklayer, another fellow on the dole, another fellow an accountant. One's 20, one's 50. We had a centre back who was 67. God bless Tony McNamara, still chugging on, playing with his son and grandson in Limerick junior football. But this is the whole thing about whether you support a team, whether you're involved in the club. Football's a great place where guys come together. So I think us partnering with the football team, us partnering with November, it's a match that makes sense. So if you want
Mhm.
to get involved, you don't have to do the mustache. If you are cool, tag us in pictures. Maybe make it your fantasy forfeit for the month. And if you get the lowest points in your fantasy league per week, they're the person who has to shave down to Ronnie of the rest of the lads' choice.
Or, because I love a hardcore mode, if you finish last in November, you got to keep the mo all year round.
Till the end of the season. Yeah, keep the mo till the end of the season.
And
Or
there's lots of ways to play with it. It's just a really good cause
do
and
something. Get
really
you talk.
fun stuff. So we're doing that, and we hope you'll join in and help us out along the way. And for more, go to
Bedtime.
StatrCast.com.
Bedtime.
Bye bye.
Bye. Well, on that we're just hitting an hard out. Yeah, talk. No, I'm going to bed.
Now I'm going to bed. Look.